At 19 years old, you open the cockpit door for the first time, and everything changes. The seat is not comfortable, the space is not simple, and the silence feels heavier than expected. You sit down and suddenly realize, this is not a car. This is not a simulator anymore. This is a machine designed to move hundreds of people through the sky. Safely, accurately, without mistakes. Outside the window, a massive aircraft waits on the runway. Engines quiet, but alive. Somewhere inside that aircraft, there will eventually be passengers, families, business travelers, children going on vacation, and one day, you might be responsible for all of them. But right now, you don't even know where everything is. Switches, dials, systems, warnings, checklists that feel endless. Every movement matters. Every decision has meaning. Because unlike most jobs, in aviation, there is no such thing as small mistakes. You look forward and realize something simple. You are not just learning to fly. You are learning to carry responsibility at 30,000 feet. And most people who start this journey never finish it. This is every level of commercial airline pilot life, from a student sitting in their first cockpit to the captain who lands hundreds of lives safely, every single day. Before you fly passengers, before you touch a commercial aircraft, before you even sit in the cockpit alone, you start here. Flight school, where every pilot begins. At first, it feels like a dream. Small training aircraft, clear skies, basic maneuvers, simple instructions. Left turn, right turn, climb, descend. But very quickly, the sky stops feeling simple. The controls multiply. The systems become complex. The radio never stops talking, and suddenly, you are not just flying. You are thinking in systems, navigation, weather, fuel, altitude, air traffic instructions, all at once. In the simulator, you face your first emergencies, engine failures, sudden weather changes, loss of instruments. Every mistake resets the lesson. Every failure is recorded. Every correction is mandatory. Some students adapt quickly. They start to understand the rhythm of the aircraft. Others struggle. They freeze under pressure. They forget procedures. They fall behind. And one day, they don't return to class. Because in flight training, progress is not guaranteed. It is earned. Every hour in the sky either moves you forward or removes you from the program. And you realize something early. Flying is not about control. It is about discipline under pressure. Then comes the day you never forget. Your first solo flight. No instructor, no second seat, no voice correcting you. Just you and the aircraft. Before takeoff, you sit in silence. The cockpit feels different now. Lighter, but also heavier, because every decision is yours. You taxi to the runway slowly. Each movement feels more precise than before. Clearance comes through the radio, and suddenly, you are rolling forward. The runway begins to disappear beneath you. The aircraft lifts, and for the first time, there is no one beside you to confirm it is okay. You are alone in the sky. Below you, the world becomes quiet. Above you, only instruments and horizon remain. Every sound feels sharper. Every vibration feels meaningful. You correct your heading, adjust your altitude, monitor your instruments carefully. Because now, there is no backup, no instructor, no safety net, only responsibility. And somewhere in that silence, fear turns into focus. Focus turns into control, and control turns into something new. Confidence. When you land, there is no celebration in the sky, only a realization on the ground. You are no longer just a student. You are a pilot. But this is only the beginning. After your first solo flight, something changes. You are no longer just learning. You are being evaluated. Every flight now has a name, a checkride. This is where pilots are made or stopped. An examiner sits beside you, silent, watching, not helping. You go through procedures step by step. Pre-flight checks, navigation planning, weather analysis, communication protocols. Everything must be perfect. Because now, mistakes are not lessons. They are failures. In the simulator, things get worse. Engine failures, sudden weather changes, instrument loss, emergency reroutes. You are expected to stay calm. Think clearly. Act immediately. No hesitation. Some students pass quickly. They adapt to pressure. They perform under observation. Others freeze. Forget steps. Miss procedures. Lose control under scrutiny, and they are removed from the program. Not because they couldn't fly, but because they couldn't be trusted. The Checkride doesn't measure talent. It measures discipline under pressure, and as the evaluations continue, you realize something important. The cockpit is not your space anymore. It is a test environment. Every switch, every call, every decision is being judged, and only those who remain precise under pressure move forward. After passing your Checkrides, you finally become a commercial pilot. But this is not the end of training. It is the beginning of your career. Your first job is not a large aircraft. It is not a major airline. It is a regional airline. Smaller planes, shorter routes, constant schedules, early mornings, late nights, weather delays, tight turnarounds. You fly between cities most people don't think about. You land, you refuel, you take off again, sometimes within hours. The aircraft is smaller, but the responsibility is not. Passengers still trust you. Weather still changes without warning, and fatigue becomes part of the job. You learn quickly that flying for a living is not about excitement. It is about repetition, precision, discipline, and endurance. Some pilots struggle with this phase. The reality is different from the dream. Long hours, modest pay, constant pressure. But those who stay start to build something important: experience. Because every flight adds hours. Every hour brings you closer to the next level. And slowly, you realize something. This is not the glamorous part of aviation, but it is the foundation of everything that comes next. After building hours in regional aviation, you reach the next level: major airline training. This is where everything changes again. You are no longer just flying aircraft. You are now part of a system, a two-pilot crew, standard operating procedures, strict airline protocols, and advanced aircraft systems far more complex than before. You enter the simulator, and it doesn't feel like training anymore. It feels real. Engine failures, electrical malfunctions, rapid decompression, severe weather scenarios, emergency diversions. Every situation is designed to test coordination, not just skill, because now you are not alone. You are part of a crew, captain and first officer. Communication becomes everything. Timing becomes critical, and decisions must be synchronized. Outside the simulator, airline training officers evaluate every action, every checklist, every response, every hesitation. Because now, you are not responsible for just flying an aircraft. You are responsible for passengers, hundreds of them. And the expectation is simple: no mistakes. Not because mistakes are impossible, but because consequences are too large. And slowly, you begin to understand the real nature of airline flying. It is not about control anymore. It is about precision under responsibility. Then comes the day everything becomes real. Your first commercial flight. You walk through the airport, but this time, you are not a passenger. You are the pilot. You step into the cockpit, and everything feels different again. Not because it's new, but because it matters. Behind you, the cabin fills with passengers, families, business travelers, children, people who will never know your name, but trust your decisions completely. You go through your procedures. Slow, precise, calm. The doors close. The aircraft pushes back. And suddenly, silence changes meaning. This is not training. Silence. This is responsibility. Silence. You taxi to the runway. Air traffic control clears your departure and you take off. Smoothly, cleanly. But now, every sound feels heavier. Every vibration feels meaningful. Every small movement matters. You monitor instruments. You communicate with your co-pilot. You adjust for weather. Clouds move outside the window. But inside the cockpit, everything must remain stable. Because behind you, there are hundreds of lives. And for the first time, you fully understand what you've become. Not a student. Not a trainee. A pilot carrying responsibility at altitude. And when you land perfectly, there is no applause in the cockpit, only silence and realization. You did it. After hundreds of flights, something changes again. You are no longer the new pilot. You are no longer learning procedures for the first time. Now, you are experienced. And in aviation, experience becomes authority. You move from first officer towards captain, and the responsibility grows again. Because now, you are not just following instructions. You are making decisions, weather decisions, fuel decisions, route decisions, emergency decisions. And the crew now looks to you for direction, for confidence, for leadership. Inside the cockpit, communication becomes sharper, more precise, more intentional. Because every word matters when you are in charge. Passengers don't know the difference between captain and first officer, but in the cockpit, the difference is everything. When something goes wrong, you don't wait. You act, you decide, you lead. And over time, you realize something important. Flying the aircraft was only the beginning. The real skill is leading the flight and ensuring that everyone under your responsibility arrives safely. Every single time. Years pass. Flights become routine. Skies become familiar. And the cockpit becomes home. You are now experienced, respected, a captain. But something feels different now. Because the journey that once felt overwhelming now feels natural. You remember the first time you sat in a cockpit. The confusion, the fear, the pressure. And now, you sit in the same seat with calm control. Outside the aircraft, a new group of trainees arrives. Young, nervous. Carrying flight bags bigger than their confidence. They walk toward training aircraft for the first time, and you recognize something immediately. You were them once. They look at the cockpit the same way you once did. Like it is too complex, too powerful, too big for them. But you know the truth now. They will learn. They will struggle. Some will fail, some will quit. And some will become captains, just like you. The aircraft pushes back, engines start, and the sky opens once again. Another flight begins, another responsibility, another promise. Because every time a pilot takes off, it is not just a journey. It is a responsibility carried into the sky and brought back safely. Every time.